Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hephaestus Challenge. This is Guns of Icarus League play. We are in Anvil Division versus Hammer Division cross match going on here between Museosaurs and Cake. Of course, I am Imagine. With me once more is Sir Morty.
Hello, everybody.
And Morty, this should be quite the interesting matchup between these two teams.
Oh, this is going to be some fantastic amounts of fun. This is going to be brilliant. Oh, yes. I'm looking forward to this. Can you tell I'm excited?
Yeah, you can hardly contain yourself there.
This is going to be silly. This is just going to be nonsense.
Muse itself is, I think they only have one win this season so far, but they're a very dangerous team. They have a lot of. I joked at one point that instead of Museosaurs, they should be called the Musesaries, like mercenaries, because basically
If
it's like one or two Muse folk and then a bunch of people who they can scrounge up.
pretty much.
But they can surprise some people, and they did with the
Yeah.
Clamor in a few weeks ago. Clamor being on a very good team, and they pull out a victory, and I wouldn't be surprised if they knock off another top team, something which Cake is, and Cake kind of needs this win. If they get this win, they're able to separate themselves from the rest of the pack in the standings. They would be able to take a firm grasp on second place.
Yeah.
But if they lose, they drop down back into that muddled 3-2 category, and that's not where they want to be.
Yeah, I think Cake really do need to get this victory. I don't think they're going to struggle so much getting it because they do have some very talented players, but it's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough scrap.
Yeah, it's Muse can definitely surprise some people, and we are on Battle on the Dunes, a map that I have seen Cake have a little bit of a rougher time on. They
Yeah.
do like to be up close and personal. They do have some decent long range builds that I've seen as well.
Yes.
But the only other match I think that they played on Dune so far this season was against Sacrilege, and they managed to win that 2-1, and only because time ran out.
Well, it was a fair. Some people were a bit annoyed about that. I thought it was a fair enough strategy. If
Oh
you
no, no,
know you're up
absolutely.
and
Like,
you can work it out, then why not? Use
yeah,
that to your advantage. But yeah, as
it's
I've
my
said,
point. It wasn't like a convincing victory on Dunes or anything. So they
yeah,
definitely did a great job of beating Sacrilege. That was definitely, I think it was like second week, pretty big upset.
second week, yeah, that sounds about right. Um, but I do agree with you. Cake do struggle on Battle of the Dunes, mainly because they like to get up close. So closing that range often hurts them. Sometimes more than they have any right to be hurt. Have any capacity to cope with, which is a shame. You see it with a lot of people, but Cake seems quite susceptible to that.
Yeah, and because it is Battle of Dunes, we're once again seeing a lumberfish, and this is the same lumberfish that we saw Muse win with against the Clamor, and they're that was on Periton. So this is even a map that it's more useful on, and we'll see how well Zemko can connect with those shots, and that's once again that could be the difference maker, as lumberjacks
Yeah,
often are.
yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't know whether Cake is going to, how can I put it, adapt to that, or whether or not they're just going to see if they can take that in the stride. Um,
Now we did see
I,
lumberjack fish earlier today
yeah, a lumberjack fish can
against
do
against a
very well.
junker Pyramidion, and the goldfish ended up winning out.
Well, this is what I'm saying. If Cake have been paying attention to the stream today and seen the events that have happened so far, then perhaps we might see a few changes in loadout, at least. I mean, look, just a tertiary glance over the ships at the minute. They seem to be fairly capable, if slightly eclectic builds as usual. So, um,
Well, and
honestly, it's going to be who
it's
can use that lumberjack the most effectively, because they've
yeah.
got Zion
Yeah,
as a gun.
absolutely. And well, I mean, on the flip side, it's not just who can use it most effectively, but can they keep that gun up on a regular schedule? Because That's really like the game you play with any heavy gun is
Yeah,
how long can we keep this gun up for it to be actually be useful?
yeah.
If it's a long time, then your chances are good at winning. If it's a short time, if it's getting knocked out over and over again, that goldfish is going to be mostly useless.
Yeah. Well, it's going to see when we get down to the builds. I can go into a little bit more detail about what I think probably is Cake's strategy here against Muse. But Muse has Zion. He's a very good gunner, and especially good with a lumberjack. So I'm concerned. I'm concerned for Cake at the moment. I haven't ruled them out. I think they're going to may struggle if they can't get some consistent disables, as you were saying. If
Yep.
that lumberjack stays up, they will struggle.
All right. So speaking of the lumberjack, on the Muse side, the resplendent captained by Cavias. It's got that heavy lumberjack up front with the flare gun on one side and a flamethrower on the other, and on the cellar, captained by Queso. He's got a Hades Artemis one side, Banshee up front, and the Gat mortar on the other.
And for Cake, we have the Queen's Oven flown by Melon McCrabanathi with forward-mounted flamethrower on his junker, twin Artemi on the starboard side, and on the port side they've got Carronade and Banshee light carousel. So a fairly burny up-close build there, typical of Cake. Nice to see as usual. Let me just switch over here. Then we've got the Life After Love flown by Fox, who seems to have, let's see, roughly almost exactly the same build. Bad looks.
What do you mean?
If my buttons are working, hang on, my buttons aren't working. Bear with me. No, he's not. I'm back. There we go. Lag spike there. So no, we got Life After Love by Q Fox. He's actually flying a Pyramidion with Mercury, Field Gun Front, and Artemis. So that Mercury, as I noticed before, is going to be the key to keeping the Resplendent at bay, keeping that lumberjack down. If they can keep that Mercury disabling that lumberjack consistently, then Cake is going to do very well, as they're doing.
And that armor is already out, and Resplendent was coming on fourth. So yeah, there's a lot. There's basically 3 Artemis and a Mercury that's going to be firing at the Resplendent at any given time. I think at this point, they're mostly going to ignore the cellar and just keep that lumberjack under control.
Yeah, so that's a fantastic idea for Cake. Very, very well thought of. If they can keep that lumberjack disabled and chip it away with hull stripping with the Mercury and a couple of, say, 1 or 2 hits with that Artemis, then they're going to do some good damage. If they keep moving, if they sit still and that lumberjack zeroes in on them, they're knackered.
Yeah, and
But that
lumberjack
means
went down there, but Queen's Oven did lose his balloon for a moment. And so that you see that lumberjack, destroyed, rebuilt, destroyed, rebuilt, and you'll see the Resplendent's hull also destroyed, rebuilt, as that will get a lot of stripping going on by the Mercury. And so far, the Resplendent is taking a beating from a Life After Love.
Yeah, they are taking a beating from a Life After Love, but you need to think about, is the Queen's Oven going to be able to hold its ability to fight on its own? Because that means a fate of the Queen's Oven's on its own against the Junker, as we're seeing here, as it's going against Cellular.
That Cellar going on. Queen's Oven, however, now rushing towards Resplendent instead, or maybe just trying to get out of here.
Maybe.
It gets a huge ram from the Resplendent. But I'm not sure how useful that actually is. It may have hurt the
terrain as
Resplendent.
well.
Oh, the Queen's Oven gets
no.
stuck on the big pillar over there, and that knocks all sorts of momentum away. But Resplendent is getting smashed here by these 2 ships still.
Yeah, the Resplendent seems to be struggling. It seems to be the Cellular aren't getting the shots that they need to.
And Resplendent just a shot
big
away,
ship.
getting taken down by Queen's Oven and Life After Love.
Yeah.
Cellar kind of sitting on out here by itself. Is trying to get that Gat mortar going, but with the balloon down and just crossfire between these 2 ships, it's going to be extremely hard here for the Cellar.
It hasn't got the greatest chance. If they can get them and do that very quick smash kill with the
Life After
that's
Love
not happening.
with those BAMs going on. So it's the key thing, by the way, from what Life After Love and actually Queen's Oven colliding a little bit there, but I think the Cellar is still gonna go down here as it has its balloon out, and bouncy Look, if they get away from this, that's just some Houdini stuff
That's
going on. Okay, there they go.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. That was a very good round by the Paramigian there. As I was trying to say at the time,
Yep.
they might be trying to rush down the Junker with that faster DPS of the Mortar, but nope, you can't do it when you're not pointing at it, can you?
Yeah, not quite.
That's
And
that's very well done.
yeah, life after love. And what I was gonna say is with the Rams, the key thing is it's not just the initial hit that you often want. When you ram, what you really want to do is you want to hit them and then put yourself in a position where you continue hitting them because that's when the real damage is going to start coming on in. Of course, if the armor is down and you're pinning somebody against a wall, that's an entirely different concept. But if you're just out in the open like this, if you can hit and then hit and then hit and then hit, that's when you will do the huge amounts of damage that ramming can do.
Yeah, absolutely. We did see quite a good few lumberjack shots when they could keep the gun up. They were making some good hits. I think it's just that Mercury. That Mercury seems to be easier to shoot and easier to zone in at in this current build of the game. We've also got the I've forgotten the name of it now. The cellar. Realistically, I think they could have done better there. Not to be overcritical, but they
Yeah,
just didn't seem
they
to
weren't
pull their
able to
weight
do a
as
whole
much.
lot. Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, I'm hoping to see more in this next engagement. I'm hoping that we see a nice little comeback from them and a good little "wow, where did that come from?" sort of moment.
Yeah, and the seller did get the Queen's Oven by itself and has a gap mortar, but just wasn't able to really do anything with it. Now Resplendent, putting in bursts of moonshine and a little bit of haul going down here, but that lumberjack's been up for almost the entire time. However, missing the Queen's
Oh,
Oven
that
right
goes the
now.
hull again.
And there goes the haul, and here comes some Artemis shots, just chipping away at that
It
permanent
seems,
health. And Resplendent is just charging on in here.
yeah, I don't know why the Resplendent is charging in there. Maybe to get a Flegma on them and to harass them a bit, but
Yeah, armor is down, and Life After Love gonna get a bump
Oh!
onto their Splendid. Another bounce. Oh my god, that was so brutal there by Life After Love, getting that ram once the armor was down, and then getting the
Well,
second one. It's
that
just
hardly
not
seemed
gone.
fair at that point. Why did they close in? I don't know why. But I was about to say, it seems like Cake have been practicing their long-range shooting. I've not seen coordinated long-range shooting from Cake like this in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once you know you're on the dunes, you do want to practice that cellar now.
Oh,
Gonna go down as they were just stuck in between the Queen's Oven and Life
Aye.
After Love, exploding into wonderful confetti. But
Oh, my.
Muse fans have got to be a little worried here as they're down 4-0, and they haven't really even been able to make a dent in either of these cake ships so far.
Yeah, I think Muse are going to be a little concerned now. I'm going to play very conservatively because they're just not doing very well. Sorry. I don't want to say that out loud. It just seems that they're being outclassed here. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's going to be hard with that many disables coming in from Cake Team.
Yeah, I think on paper, the lumberjack fish should be working very, very well. But I think it's the introduction of those mercury field guns. They seem to be being wielded very, very well. There's no other way I can say it. It's just good shooting. I can't pick anything that Cake has done wrong so far.
Yeah, it's they've been very very good shots going down on a consistent basis. They've kind of just taken the get the stuff disabled and everything else will fall after it. And
Yeah.
basically they've played this map to how you are how best you can really take advantage of it. And they've recognized that goldfish is going to be perhaps a weak spot, and if also the strongest spot on the Muse team, they haven't really worried about the cellar too much. They've really been focused
Not
on that
really.
goldfish.
Yeah, even just looking at it now, they've been able to see the cellar for a little while. There were a few shots went that way, and then they just sort of changed tack and let the Queen's Oven try and move in with the Life After Love suppressing them.
Yep, cellar and Queen's Oven now getting a little bit close to each other over here. Queen's Oven, however,
Yes.
still looks like he's focused on the Resplendent.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, this is like the seller just hasn't been able to do really much of anything to cover the Resplendent. They haven't been able to get some nice shots. So finally, the Queen's Oven now is getting hurt
Oh.
as those
Yeah.
Hades shots are connecting, and a few of those lumber shots are connecting as well. And this is what Muse has been having to do for a while, but they just haven't been able to do it.
Yeah. It's nice to see those Hades shots actually making a dent now in the Queen's Oven. You might start having to think about backing up and getting a bit out of there, which they seem to be doing.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately, they got right back into a sandstorm over here, so that's going to knock out some components.
Down goes their balloon as well, so they're a little bit stumped here. I think you need that Paramedian to start getting some more heavy disables in, which they seem to be. They seem to be pushing the Resplendent back.
Yep, all the guns on their Resplendent are down. Balloon almost down as well, so Resplendent is on just tank it mode currently, as both the Queen's Oven and the Life After Love still going after the Resplendent here.
Yeah.
And those lumberjack shots, finally one connects onto Life After Love, but a lot of them have missed in this match so far, in fact.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have done better, honestly. Maybe it's the extensive cloud cover that we've seen for the majority of the game has thrown off aims, because now the cloud's gone, the Life After Love is getting the balloon
Yeah,
beat up
getting
badly.
Pretty nice shots off on him. Resplendent, however, has taken some permanent damage, just a little bit, but every little bit is extremely painful at this point. But Life After
we
Love
see-
is getting smashed down now.
Yeah, we've
And,
seen the Cellar move in as well.
Cellar just not able to connect with those Hades shots. A lot of them falling just short here.
Yeah, they're falling very short. Life After Love may clip
Balloon
terrain
down
here.
once more, and Life After Love smashing against that little piece of metal there, and that's going to bounce him along here, killing all momentum, and Cake might just give up their first kill here, depending on whether or not these shots can continue. It's so hard to get that Pyra moving at any speed, and once you get all of your momentum cut like that, very hard to escape from, but they might just be able to do it here.
Oh, Life After Love is getting back again, but they've lost Hull, and one more hit.
There you
There it
go,
goes.
and Muse gets a kill.
Now, I don't necessarily think Cake should have given away that kill. I don't know why the Queen's Oven is sat at the far end over here, just shooting at them when they could have rushed in, harassed a little, and distracted them for a moment. At least got close to the Resplendent so that they had to panic and move.
Yeah, I mean the both Resplendent and Cellar were mostly unperturbed there. They just kind of just whittled Life After Love down over and over again, and now Queen's Oven is actually going to get caught in the sandstorm here once more.
Oh, no.
And you don't want to lose your balloon in the middle of a sandstorm either. That's just that's going to make something that's already bad go to worse.
Yeah, now the Queen's Oven is in a bit of a tight spot now. Let's see if they've got any tricks hidden up their sleeves, but at the moment it just seems to be everyone tank and just try and hide out this sandstorm.
Yep, now they still are visible, but oh, those lumberjack shots go over under the Queen's Oven. And now past him, and
just
there's
missed.
all of those. There's 6 straight lumberjack shots missing there. You're not going to win games
they're
if
not
you do that.
hidden well, are they?
Now they're getting
I mean,
flamed.
Yeah, it's even a dare by the Queen's Oven. Can you get in close?
They're
Do
still
you
missing.
dare?
Look how close they are, and they're still missing every single lumberjack shot. Finally, one hits at the end there.
When you get the... I don't know what's going on with this one. Oh, but here we go. We've got the Life After Love coming in after the Resplendence again, but it might not be
Queen's Oven
enough.
finally getting hit here by both these ships, and they're in a bad position. But
round
Life After
2.
Love can finish off Resplendent by himself if they don't watch out.
Yeah, they can. The Resplendent's hull going down and a few hits coming in, but no hull damage as of yet.
And Lumberjack is currently down as well.
Yeah, Lumberjack is currently down. It
Finally
seems to
getting
be
rebuilt.
the Queen's Oven is either trying to get underneath
And
Cellular
Armor is
or
down
just
on
push on
Resplendent. Will this
Resplendent.
get you the final shots? Armor
Oh.
just gets back up.
Oh, they caught the reload
And
cycle.
they might just get the Queen's Oven in the meantime. Yes, they do, as the
my.
Silver finishes off the Queen's Oven, but Life After Love.
This is the time we've got to push.
Close here.
Got to push.
Missing
A
that.
good ram will get that. Come on.
Oh, now Armor is down, and there goes an Artemis shot. Will they be able to finish this off? And yes, they
Yeah, there you go.
do. Last
Just caught
second.
that on the edge of the reload. Oh, well.
Last second ditch there. Otherwise, this was about to go to like a 4-3 game, and anything could happen after that.
Yeah.
So it's very clutch kill there. Otherwise, it was going to
It
starts
was a
getting
very
hard.
clutch kill. If that hadn't gone off, then the Paramedian would have been in a bad spot. Overall, Cake did very, very well. It seems that they've got their coordination down even tighter. They've been getting their coordination tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter as we've seen throughout this program, this series, should I say, this competition. And it just seems to be getting even better. Well, it's very well done. Very well done indeed.
Yeah, so Cake takes a win that was mostly, really almost necessary for them to keep pace in the standings. Did a very
Yeah,
good job here, taking a really good loadout against what they were facing. It's they basically did what they had to do in this match. And
yeah,
some people are pointing out that yes, it is lumberjacks were hard to hit there because of the awkward positioning and movement. Very true.
very true.
It's but when you're missing lumberjack shots, it's not necessarily just the gunner's fault. It's if you can't keep a ship still or keep it lined up, it will get very hard. So it is when I mentioned the lumberjack missing, it is a combination of the pilot's maneuvering and the gunner thing. Still, a lot of
Yeah,
lumberjack misses were happening there.
yeah. I think Muse did try very hard.
Oh yeah, no,
They,
absolutely. I mean, they brought their game. It's just they got countered kind of heavily, and Cake did a very good job of executing that counter. It doesn't always work. All right, guys, that is the end of today. At least as far as matches go, we are going to have our kind of roundtable discussion about how today has gone.
yeah.
That will be back on Rob and Dan's stream, so please do head on over there. So just to recap quickly, today we had the Holy Roman Army take out the Sky Invading Rhinos. I believe it was a 5-1, maybe 5-2. Merry Men took out Sacrilege 5-2. Bully Boys took down the Art of Warfare 5-1, and Cake finished off the Museosaurs 5-2. So that will pretty much do it for us today, guys. I'm glad to have you all join us, and do hope to see you again next week for week number 7. We are getting down to the final few weeks here. It's going to be quite an exciting finish.
It should be. We should see a good race for first and second, a good race for third.